The harder you work for something, the greater you will feel when you will achieve it. Kendra Vidyalaya Bhantala presents documentary film on late Dinanath Walli ji. Presented by Payal Bhat, 10th A, Kendra Vidyalaya Bhantala Jammu, class teacher Mrs. Jyoti ma'am. Dinanath Walli sir, born in 1908, Bachar Bala, Srinagar. He was fond of music and was closely attached to musical instruments, mainly violin, flute and sitar. He was survived by one son and 3 daughters. After marriage of his son, he moved out to Karnal with his son, Dr. T.K. Walli, in 1980s. He was also known by the another name, that is Almast Kashmiri. He was known for painting everyday scenes of Kashmir. His early life and education. His father died when Dinanath was very young. He had his early education in Srinagar. Then he continued his 3 years course at Amar Singh Technical Institute, Srinagar, and then he moved to Calcutta in 1930s for his further training, where he learned the various forms of art under the guidance of Percy Brown, the principal of the Government College of Art and Craft at the University of Calcutta. Career. In 1936, he returned to Srinagar, where he concentrated on landscape paintings in watercolors mainly. He was also awarded the gold medals by the government of Kashmir in 1939, and in 1940s he was awarded a highly commended medal for the Academy of Fine Arts, Calcutta. He was aware of various forms of modern art, especially Salvador Dali's Secularism, Pablo Picasso, Cubanism, Expressionism, pop art and abstract art. His paintings are a good example of Impressionism. They are unique in their own way. They had also produced an album of 12 paintings. Under his pen name of Almast Kashmiri, his ascent on elastic art or people's poetry is best seen in 2 collections of his poetry. Bala Yapar, This Side of Mountains, 1955, and Sahavuk Posh, that's a Desert for Flowers, 1981. This is his masterpiece, A Houseboat in the Moonlight. The different beautiful paintings of Dinanath Walli ji. This first painting depicts a main market in Kashmir where people are selling different kinds of goods. Second picture depicts a roadside Kashmiri tea shop. The third painting depicts the Nalamar, Srinagar. These are some other paintings. Dinanath Walli, A Passion to Portray Kashmir. It's a book written by T.K. Walli. Achievements. Maharaja Gold Medal 1939, Highly Commended Medal, Academy of Fine Arts, Calcutta 1940s, AIFSCS, World Trained Artist Award 1996, and Saraswati Saman in 2004. Dinanath Walli died in 2006 in Karnal, Haryana, India.
मैं उस देश की नागरिक हूँ जहाँ छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज और सम्राट अशोक जैसा राजा था। मैं उस देश की नागरिक हूँ जहाँ डाल डाल पर सोने की चिड़िया को पाया जाता था। मैं उस देश की नागरिक हूँ जहाँ हर 50 मील दूर पर रूप रंग पहनावा बदल जाता था। मैं उस देश की नागरिक हूँ जिसे अपने भगोल से पहले इस ब्रह्मांड का भगोल समझ आता था। A very warm good morning to one and all present over here. This side Payal Bhat from Kendra Vidyalaya Bhantalab Jammu class 10. Today, under Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, I have prepared a documentary on a great painter, that is late Shri Dinanath Walli ji. He was a painter who has done excel in his field of painting. He has painted more than thousands of paintings for all of us. He was also known with another name, that is Almast Kashmiri. Now, today, on his behalf, his son, Dr. T.K. Walli, is going us to give an interview. मैं आपका केंद्रीय विद्यालय परिवार बंतला की ओर से स्वागत करती हूँ.
Thank you.
So let's start the questionnaire, sir. Could you please tell us something about the early childhood of your artist father, that's late Shri Dinanath Waliji?
Well, my father was born in 1908 at Srinagar. He had unfortunately an unhappy childhood because he lost his father when he was just 2 years old. And then his mother, along with, she took care of the children, two children, that my father and my uncle. And for that, she had to do spinning the charkha and make pashmina yarn. That is how she lived and raised her children like that.
Okay,
That
sir.
was
Thank you, sir.
next
When did
question.
he? Yes, sir. When did he realize that he possessed enough talent to become an artist?
Well, it seems that he was a born artist, and even as a kid, he used to go around and make pictures of things around which were there. And when he joined the school, even in school, he used to actually make the pictures of their teachers. In the beginning, teachers were offended, and what is this you are doing? This is a class. But then they found that the quality of art was so good, they could see the likeness of their own, in this painting. So they said that, okay, it's all right. And then they advised him that when you finish school, you should go to art college. Accordingly, now we can talk about this drug. You can ask the question, next question. Next
Okay, sir.
question, please.
What kind of efforts had he to make in his early life in order to pursue art as his long life career?
Yes, as I said that he was advised by his teacher that he should go to art school. There was a 3-year diploma course at Amar Singh Technical Institute, which he joined. But even as a student of that college, he used to, on weekends, he used to go on his bicycle and go and do on-spot painting of landscape in and around Srinagar because he was so passionate about painting and he used to do that on weekends. Calcutta, it was a British this thing capital at that time. It was a Mahanagar, and he just got lost in that stay, and he had to struggle a lot. And finally, he decided that he should concentrate on his this landscapes and watercolor, which he used to do earlier in Kashmir also. And then he also participated in the local exhibitions in Kolkata, the group exhibitions on art. And it just so happened in one of those art exhibitions, he was spotted by no less than a person like Sir Percy Brown, a famous art historian and art critic. When he saw his paintings, he said, "Who is this man? Let me see this boy. Who is there?" And he said that, "What are you doing here? You should be in Kashmir. Your art is so superior. I like it very much. You better go back to Kashmir and paint there." And at the same time, don't leave your specialized, you only specialize in watercolor landscapes, and that too a realistic art. This is not modern art. Please don't go for modern art. At that time there was a trend that everybody was going for modern art. He said that no, you stick to your line, you are best in your line. Okay, next question please.
How did he propagate his art among the art lovers and his fans?
Yeah, on advice of Percy Brown, he went back to Kashmir and he started painting on the spot and other things, mostly on the spot. Initially, he was doing on the spot painting only. And then Percy Brown also advised him that he should go for not group shows. He should go because in group shows there were all modern artists. He was not. He was more totally misfit there. He advised him you have your own one-man shows, and the first one-man show was held in Srinagar, and it was inaugurated by the person Percy Brown, Sir Percy Brown himself. He was in England at that time, but he treated him just like a son, and he said that I will come and I will inaugurate your exhibition. Subsequently, he started giving many exhibitions in Delhi, Calcutta, Bombay, Pune, and all that between 1950. First one was in 1953 in Srinagar. Up to 56, 1956, he was continuously giving exhibitions and all over. And after that, also in Delhi at spacious intervals, he used to give exhibitions in Delhi also, so many other. But all during these exhibitions, the art critics who used to cover his exhibition, they were so impressed and they used to write so good about his art. That's lot of rave reviews he used to get that, and that was published in dailies, national dailies, English dailies, and all that. And because of that, he got huge fame and name in the whole country in 50s. It was all period of 50 was his peak, and you'll be surprised to know at that time there was one weekly. It was called Illustrated Weekly of India. That was the only famous weekly at that time, and they actually put my father's paintings and the way he art in center spread in color. Though the art, it was magazine was in black and white, but in color they printed his paintings, and the way he does his on spot painting outdoors and all that. That was all covered in that. That kind of fame he achieved in 50s, mid 50s, and all that. And then in 1978, after giving an exhibition in Delhi, he was asked to, by his guru, you can say, Dr. Randhawa, Dr. M.S. Randhawa was an art historian, and he was also chairman of All India Fine Arts and Crafts Society. He advised him that he should make an album, art album. And in fact, in 1978, he published that art album. It was called uh, Kashmir Landscapes in Watercolor. And it was foreword was written by Dr. Randhawa, and he also appreciated one of the paintings, that is Moonlight, Dal Lake in Moonlight, which he considers is one of the best paintings made by my father. And Kashmir Overseas Association in USA, they actually published the whole album in their website in 2000. Of course, All India Fine Arts and Crafts Society also honored my father with Veterans Award in 1995. Okay, next question, please.
Okay, sir. Painting could be a repetitive work. How could Sir maintain so much focus, determination on his art?
Well, for him, it was never repetitive. He was so fond of making paintings. Only on days when it was raining or cloudy, he won't paint. Otherwise, he was so fond of painting. And that was, in fact, for him, nature was a beloved. Truly, he considered nature as his beloved. To show love to his beloved, he painted. His painting was what a kind of reflection of his love for his beloved Jane Jana. In fact, though he's a Kashmiri poet, but in Urdu he wrote, uh, मैं उरियां करके छोड़ूंगा झलक उस हुस्न पिन्हा की जभी तो खींचता हूँ रोज मैं तस्वीर जाना की. Jana means जाने जाना. So he wanted to paint almost every day. That much fond he was he of that doing painting. Uh, of course, he was also a self-taught musician, and he had owned several musical instruments like sitar, sarangi, violin, and flute. And whenever he felt somewhat, I mean, was not in good mood, he would go and play this one of these instruments. Violin, it was so nice to see when he was playing the album. It was violin he was playing and flute he was playing very good, without being taught anywhere. Never he was taught, but he was able to do it on his own, self-taught. But undoubtedly, he was most passionate about doing paintings and painting nature, and that he did till the age of 95. Actually, he passed away at the age of 98 in the year 2006 at Karnal. I stay in Karnal, and he spent 24 years of his life, last last 24 years of his life in Karnal with us. Then next question, please.
Okay. Tell if his painting has been exhibited outside India.
Well, apart from selling his paintings through exhibitions, there was a huge sale of paintings because it was such good paint. People used to throng and purchase the paintings. But apart from that, his another way of selling the paintings was through houseboats in Dal Lake. He used to give his paintings to houseboat owners, and a lot of tourists come and they used to purchase these paintings and all that. Of course, they would get their own commission and all that. That way, thousands. That is how thousands of his paintings are now in Europe, in America, and owned by people there, and they're proud of this such possessions. I get several times I get people who tell me that, oh, you happen to be artists and we have got his paintings with us. We are so proud of that paintings and all that. Yeah, I get it on my Facebook many times, and they come to know that, oh, his son is there. Anyway, and but what happened that in 2004, one Tariq Rajab, a Kuwaiti curator, he collected 57 paintings of my father from Europe and America. Then he approached the Indian embassy in Kuwait, that he would like to give an exhibition of Dinanath Walli's paintings in your collaboration. You please find out the artist. But they had a lot of time. They faced a lot of problem in identifying or locating the artist, and it may be one of the rarest examples in the world when when an artist is sitting in his home country, and he has no idea that somewhere else in some other country somebody is actually organizing an exhibition of his painting. This is what happened in his case. It's the rarest of rare cases. Only 2 days before the exit, they were able to they were able to get my number, and uh, Indian ambassador in Kuwait, he linked me, he contacted me and said that we were organizing an exhibition and we would like to have the artist's message. The brochure is ready, but please send the message tonight only. And I did that, and that was included in the brochure. After 2 weeks, we got a bundle package from the ambassador, having those brochures with all the 57 paintings in miniature form in that. So that is the kind of experience my father had as far as art is concerned. Next question, please.
We would like to know as why Dinanath Walli sir was also known by another name, that is Almast Kashmiri.
Well, apart from being a famous artist, our father was also poet in Kashmiri language. Almast Kashmiri was his pen name, or as a poet. In Urdu, we call it Takhalus. And his immense love for nature urged him to express not only through color and this brush, but also through word pictures woven musically in his poems. And he published two books of poetry in his life. One was Balayapari in 2000, in 1955, and Saharabak Posh in 1978. The later one also had the English translation along with it. Okay, next please. Next
Okay, sir.
question, please.
So please, you have written a biography on Dinanath Walli sir. Please tell us something about that biography.
Yeah, I was fortunate to have a book on my father. It contains his autobiography and 60 uh, paintings of his best paintings included in that. The name of the book is Dinanath Walli, A Passion to Portray Kashmir. It was published in 2017, and Dr. Karan Singh at was released the book in at All India Fine Arts and Crafts Society in New Delhi. And Siddharth Bigu, now who's a very famous writer now, he has written the foreword for this book. Uh, Apart from that, I was also able to organize two exhibitions of my father posthumously. One in 2010 in Jammu, and the other one in Delhi in 2012. Well, finally, in olden days, Kashmir was called Reshwar, Valley of Saints. Dinanath Walli painted Kashmir in all its moods, shades, seasons, and colors, both as an artist as well as poet. Looking at his paintings, one is transcended to look back to those days when it was really a rich world. Kashmir was really a rich world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for giving your valuable time to all of us. We are very grateful to you,
My,
sir.
my
Thanks.
pleasure, please. Thank you so much.
Special vote of thanks to Dr. T.K. Walli, son of late Dinanath Walli ji, who gave us his valuable time. Guide teacher Jyoti ma'am. Presented by Payal Bhat 10th A Kendra Vidyalaya Jammu. Technical help by Himanshu. Thanks a lot.